It's Josh Goldstein. Friends, we have a lot to talk about here today. This is huge news. We have a lot to talk about. The Biden administration has changed the game when it comes to immigration. I would say this is the most important immigration news since DACA, which I think came out in 2013. So really the most important immigration news in very, very, very long time. We have so much to talk about. There's so many exciting things. I will be going live and answering all your questions for as long as I can. And I'm going to really go through and we're going to do a deep dive into all aspects of this. You won't want to miss it. And if you don't know me, my name is Josh Goldstein. I'm an immigration lawyer in Los Angeles. I help people across the country and around the world reach their immigration goals. And there is nothing more important to me than helping people who I couldn't otherwise help. Throughout my career, I have had opportunities to help people who I couldn't help and then I could help. And it's so exciting. It's so exciting. So really, there are two aspects of this, okay? Let's get right into it. Pull up a chair, get out a piece of paper and a pen, take notes. Let's get into it. So there are two aspects of this case, of the Biden administration program. And here it is. You can find it on the White House's website. And it's just so exciting. It's so exciting. And it's also, I think, very, very good politics as well. Somebody posted a comment earlier. They said, oh my God, well, Trump is just going to get into office and deport everyone and cancel this out. And that, I think, is a very accurate statement. If Trump were to win the election and become president, he would deport everyone that Biden is trying to help. So it creates a very stark contrast between the two of them. So let's get right into it. There are two basic parts to the program. The first is what I call parole in place for undocumented people who are married to U.S. citizens. So for that, did you enter the United States without inspection? If so, are you married to a U.S. citizen? And third, do you meet all the other requirements for a green card, in terms of criminal record and health grounds of inadmissibility and so on and so forth? Do you meet all those requirements? If so, do you meet all those requirements and have you met them all? Have you been in the U.S. for 10 years? And did you meet all those requirements as of June 17th, 2024? Okay. If you meet all of those requirements, then even though you did not enter the United States legally, you can apply for a green card through marriage in the United States. Now, what this means is that the I-601A program is dead. It's gone. That's because most people who apply for a green card through the I-601A program have better options, right? This program is a better option for an I-601A. So that program is basically no longer your best option. Antonio says, well, I have an I-601A waiver filed and I'm currently following U.S. immigration law. How can Trump deport me if I'm doing it by the books? Well, let's leave Trump out of this. If you have an I-601A waiver filed, then great. You filed an I-601A waiver. But this program is someone that you should still pursue anyway, Antonio. If you're listening, you should contact us and have us help you with parole in place because it's way better even if you've already filed for your waiver. So that's the very first part of the program. The second part of the program involves those with DACA. And it says that people with DACA can get employment-based options if they otherwise couldn't do that. And it's very unclear to me how this is going to work. It seems to suggest that Biden administration is waiving some of the grounds of inadmissibility so that people who have DACA could get, for example, get an H-1B visa or get an L-1 visa through the change of status. Or maybe they could, hold on one second here. They could get a green card through some sort of petition, employment-based petitions such as a national interest waiver or I-601A. Wahid says, how long does it take to get an I-730 approved? I'd say it should take a year to get that approved. Keep your questions coming. I know you have a lot of questions. Hello from Boston. Let's go Celtics. Yes, I love that. Yeah. So many good questions here. Fake ID Productions was treated appallingly because he was stopped in Seattle, didn't know that he needed a K-1 visa, interrogated, arrested, and detained. I'm sorry that happened. You seem like a good person, and that's horrible. Naseem, we can help you out. Reach out to us. But I'm here to answer your questions. There are basically two parts of this. One is the parole in place for spouses of U.S. citizens, and the other is employment-based immigration options for dreamers, for those with DACA. It's super exciting. It's amazing. I am so happy. And somebody posted a comment on TikTok, and they said, well, you know, like I said, Trump's going to undo all this. He's just going to deport everyone. And I think that's actually true. If Trump wins the election, he will deport the people that Biden wants to help. So you have a choice. American voters have a choice between hatred of immigrants and people who want to embrace immigrants. And, you know, I'm telling everyone I know to pull the lever for Biden and vote for Biden because we need this. Zahid Ali, I need your help in person, please, for Mandamus lawsuit. We would love to help you. Call and book a consultation with us. We can help you out. Elma, if the I-601A is pending, this is a great question. If the I-601A is pending, do you cancel and apply for PIP? Yes, you shouldn't cancel it, but you should also file an application for PIP, and we can help you with that right away. Sandy says, I'm married with a citizen, but I have DACA. Can I apply for a work permit since it's 3 years? So Sandy, if you're married to a citizen and you have DACA, this is your chance to apply for a green card. Assuming, yeah, I mean, I would need to know more about your case, but this program seems like it's specifically made for you. It's exciting. I'm married to a U.S. citizen and have DACA. Should I do AOS through AP or should I do it with Biden? Well, I think they're both. I mean, I would do PIP. I would do PIP. Litzy, are you listening, Litzy? I would do PIP. I would do PIP. I mean, either one will work. PIP, parole in place. Parole in place. The Biden administration is using presidential authority to expand the eligibility for parole in place. Now, our office has been filing parole in place applications for years. For years, we've been filing them. Parole in place was used for military families, and we can still use them for military families. Someone says, how much do you think the process will cost? I think it will cost slightly more than a normal marriage-based green card for people who've entered the U.S. legally. I don't know if that directly answers your question. We're still trying to figure this out. It was just announced a few hours ago. Is DACA moved to 18 years instead of 16 years? No, it's not. How do we know when it will take place or when we can apply? These are a good question. I've been with my husband for 19 years, and I am born in the U.S., and we have been married for 7 years. So you have to have been married. You have to have been in the U.S. for 10. Let's review the eligibility requirements. You have to be in the U.S. for 10 years. You have to be able to prove that as well. You have to be married to a U.S. citizen on June 17th, 2024. And you have to meet all the requirements for adjustment of status. What about the permanent bar? That's a great question. So the permanent bar is a permanent bar to getting a green card. So you can't get a green card through this process because that's the law. You're not eligible for the green card. But you're not directly barred from getting parole in place. So you could get parole in place. You could get parole in place. Now, what would be the value of parole in place? You get a work permit and protection from deportation. What's the permanent bar? The permanent bar it's complicated, but basically you're triggered. It's if you enter the U.S. illegally or without documentation twice, or you're deported and you re-enter, or some other scenarios, then you're barred permanently from getting a green card. It's not even a permanent bar. You can overcome it by staying outside the U.S. for 10 years and then applying for a waiver. But essentially, it means you're not going to be able to get a green card. So you could get parole in place. All right. What if my mom is a widow now and she was married to my dad for 13 years before she passed? I don't know. It doesn't sound right to me. Hey, Josh, I just filed my I-601A waiver a few weeks ago. Can I apply for Biden's new PIP? Yes. Yes. Even if you have an I-601A waiver pending, you should apply for PIP. Why? Well, first of all, the I-601A waiver requires you to go to a consulate. You don't want to go to a consulate. You want to go to the beach. You want to go travel for fun. You don't want to go to a consulate. Secondly, if you travel on the I-601A waiver, you can't come back in until your waiver is approved. And I don't like that at all. I'd much rather get your green card in the U.S. So that would be way better. That'd be way better. You can have more than one application pending at the same time. Nasim sent me an email. Let me just post my email again on here in case you haven't. It's also in my bio. It's joshua@jgoldlaw.com. But keep the questions coming. These are great questions. Ramla Sharif. I had an interview in January and was approved for a fiance visa, and then put in administrative processing in March. Do I start 10-year permanent bar? Can I still apply for parole? Yes, you can apply for parole. Double entry still qualify. Double entry to me sounds like parole in place. I mean, to me, it sounds like a permanent bar issue. So permanent bar will prevent you from getting a green card. Sophia's getting married this year. If you're getting married this year, then the Biden program will not help you directly. So you have to look for other options. Let's see here. How much for a consult? We have free consultations. You can book a consult with our team using the link in my bio, which you should do. You should totally do that. What about VAWA? VAWA is a program that's great. I'm waiting for my parents' interview for almost 2 years. I'm sorry you're waiting, Sultan. We'd love to help you. Great comment over here on YouTube. So by the way, we are live on Facebook. We're live in my Facebook group. We have a Facebook group that focuses on visa delays. We have over 20,000 members in there. We're live. We're also live on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on X or Twitter. We're live on TikTok. Let me see some love on TikTok, by the way. And we are live on Instagram. We're live basically not everywhere, but almost everywhere. We have somebody here, Bamba Mamba. Hey, Josh, my I-130 was returned to USCIS. I respond to the notice of intent to revoke. Can I apply for advanced parole? I'm from Afghanistan. I have humanitarian security reasons. Can you do advanced parole for us? I'd have to review your case. You can reach out to us and book a consultation to us using the link in my bio. Hang on, people. Hang on. I got to get my giant orange water bottle. My coach said I had to hydrate. I love the Yeti. My water's cold. This is great. I am based on TikTok and other social platforms. We have an office in Los Angeles and on the East Coast as well. We handle cases in all 50 states and around the world. Wherever you are, we can help you if you need help with immigration issues. Sultan asks about the Welcome Corp. I do not handle those cases. This is a refugee thing that I don't know much about. VAWA is not impacted by the Biden announcement, but we love helping people with VAWA. We love helping people who are in abusive relationships. Nobody should be manipulated by their spouse. Saria says husband has double entry. Will he still qualify? You could qualify for parole in place, but you may not qualify for a green card. So there could be a benefit. When can you apply? That hasn't been announced yet. These are all great questions. Great questions. Great questions. I'm DACA. I'm in the works with AOS with a local lawyer. Do I have to file? DACA, I'm in the works with AOS with a local lawyer. Do I have to file for advanced parole? Jared, you have DACA and you're applying for adjustment of status with a local lawyer. You have to file for advanced parole. So, okay. So if you have DACA, it means that you did not enter the United States with a legal entry. Okay, that's what that probably means. If you entered legally and you were married to a U.S. citizen, then you could apply for a green card through adjustment of status. But since you didn't, there are several ways to fix this. There is travel with advanced parole, okay? And there is military parole in place, which is something I haven't talked about yet. And there is the I-601A program. Now, as of today, there is a new program called Parole in Place for spouses of U.S. citizens. So if you're married to a U.S. citizen, your best option is parole in place. That's much better option than advanced parole, than traveling with advanced parole. It's a better option. It's easier. You can still travel, just wait till you get your travel document. Here's someone that says, my husband's case is stuck. My husband's waiting for his interview in Juarez. Can he still apply? Yes. Jared, it sounds to me like this was your lucky day. Is this better than DACA? Yes. Is a green card better than DACA? Yes, this is better than DACA. This is a path to a green card. If you have DACA and you're married to a U.S. citizen, this is your best path if you're eligible. My husband's case is stuck in administrative processing for 8 months. Can we help? Yes, we can. Reach out to us immediately using the link in my bio. You can talk to us for free. Why would you not do that? You can talk to us for free. Okay? Why? I mean, that's a pretty good offer. What have you got to lose? Nothing. My husband's wallet. Here's someone says, "You're amazing." Thanks. That's very nice. New DACA application? No. Did not say anything about a new DACA application. I got married the 1st of June, being here for 30 years. Will I be approved? So you have to be married to a U.S. citizen on June 17th, 2024. So if you're not married and you weren't married as of yesterday, then forget it. You're not eligible for this. Not forget it. You're just not eligible for this particular program, and you'll have to find a different program. Does that make sense? Saqib, when I became a U.S. citizen, my kids were under 18. They're now all married. Can I still apply? Can you apply for what? You're a U.S. citizen. I'm not sure I understand. What if you're divorced, but you were married for 10 years? That you're not eligible for this? I've been here for 10 years straight, but I have a permanent bar. Can I still apply? So the permanent bar is a permanent bar to getting a green card, but you're still eligible for parole in place. You're still eligible. Will parole in place expire like DACA? That's not really a relevant question, but I'll explain why. So you get parole in place, and then right after you get parole in place, you file an application for a green card. Unless you have, let's say you get parole in place, but you don't apply for a green card because maybe you have the permanent bar. So let's say that you have a permanent bar, so you can't get a green card, but they give you parole in place. You could renew it. Yeah, you could renew it like DACA. But for most people, they would just apply for a green card. We have someone in here, Kadarinho Molan. Cases refused since 2018, and I need your assistance. Boy, I would love to help you. 2018 was a long time ago. That sounds like a great, amazing time to help you out. SLP Entertainment Live, I want a consultation, please. You can book it using the link in my bio. You can just answer a few questions. And can my nephew sponsor me? Sponsor you for what? What does that mean, though? Family-based immigration, nephew is not going to be able to sponsor someone. I want to marry in the U.S., but I don't know anybody there. How can I do that? Can you help me, please? That's a good one. Ruby says, my husband can qualify if he got deported and came back in 2019, and that same month I became a citizen. So it sounds to me, Ruby, like your husband may have a permanent bar issue, because if he was deported, how did he come back? If you get deported and then you illegally re-enter the U.S., you're permanently barred from getting a green card. But it's possible that he might be able to be eligible for parole in place, which would give him a work permit. But would it make sense to do that, to apply for that? I don't know. Here's Amit. In removal for 20 years, I-130 approved yesterday. Congratulations on that. Will PIP help? Well, if you've been in removal for 20 years, you probably have a complicated immigration history that would mean that I couldn't even speculate as to the answer. So I would say you should contact our office or another immigration law firm and try to get a clear idea of how that would work. These are great questions from everyone. What else is on your mind? Here's Rap Game. I was granted asylum 8 years ago as a kid. My parents never signed up for the green card. Can I still apply for the green card without the case number? Here's what I would do if I were you. First, do a background check on yourself so you can try to find your A number. Then request a copy of your file. Have your parents do a Freedom of Information Act request to get a copy of their file. And then with all that information, you'll be in a position to file a new application. Bakir Mansouri. Can I apply for a humanitarian parole visa? And my I-130 is pending in the stage for Noir, and my wife's a U.S. citizen. It's hard for me to say. I don't handle humanitarian parole visas. So I'm not the best person to ask about that. These are great questions. Will advanced parole fix the permanent bar? So I'm speculating, and this is a very much depends on your situation. If you have a permanent bar, you're not going to be able to get a green card unless you can overcome the permanent bar by staying outside the U.S. for 10 years and applying for a waiver. So you would be eligible for parole in place, which is the new program that Biden announced. That means that you could get a work permit and protection from deportation if you're approved for parole. Positive Mindset, Abi Abbas, Bobby King joined us. Here's someone who says, I have a green card. I did an I-130 for my husband 1 year ago. Is there a way to make his case faster? I don't know. I'm not sure. I would need to know a little more about this. This is interesting. All right. Las Victorias de Paulina. Is this official now, or does the law need more court approval? No, this is official. You can do it. Now, obviously, the Republicans are not going to be pleased with this. They despise immigrants. Racial hatred of immigrants is the mother's milk that holds the Republican Party together, that unifies them. They are unanimous in their hatred of immigrants. They probably I think they've already filed a lawsuit against this. So, that's what, but parole in place is a longstanding feature of immigration law. So I don't know, they may not like it, but the only solution for them is through the election. And by the way, now that we're on the topic, if Trump wins the election, this is all undone. I'm sure of it. On day one, he'll destroy this. Nothing fixes the permanent bar except U visa or VAWA. You can overcome the permanent bar by staying outside the U.S. for 10 years and then applying for a waiver. And I've actually never applied for such a waiver. I've never handled such a waiver. My career's been for more than 20 years. I've never done a waiver like that, a permanent bar waiver. The reason I've never done such a waiver is that it's rare that people attempt them. I heard about a woman overcoming the permanent bar. She was a U.S. citizen and she lived in El Paso. Her husband lived in Juarez, Mexico, and they would kind of go back and forth. And they were able to be together in Mexico, and she was able to work in the U.S. And they did that for 10 years. And I don't know. She had a blog called Real Housewife of Ciudad Juarez, but I don't know what ever became of her. She wasn't a client. I just saw this content online. These are great questions. Chester from Nairobi is here. Welcome. Jay, can you please answer my... Now I have to go find your question, so you might want to repost it now. I can't find it. There's so many questions. These are great questions. The Biden administration has announced a new immigration program today. I would say this is the most exciting, greatest news in immigration law in the United States since the creation of the DACA program in 2013. So probably there's been nothing like this since DACA. Nothing like it since DACA. Crazy. It's such great news. Sophia Escoricia invited me, your membership. That's awesome. Kadaharino Molin, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining us. American Violin, just finished my master's about a month ago in STEM. What are my chances for EB National Interest Waiver? So you have to show extraordinary ability. You have to be an exceptional person. Do you get permanent bar if you got caught and deported as a minor? Permanent bar is not being deported. Deportation doesn't trigger a permanent bar. A permanent bar is triggered in a few different scenarios. One is when you're deported and then you illegally re-enter the U.S. One is when you illegally re-enter the U.S. twice. And there are other scenarios like this. It's highly case specific. Lindy Celestine. I'm an F1 family preference priority date, December 8th, 2015. My documents were approved on the 13th of May, 2022. How long do I have to wait to hear something from immigration? It's very hard to answer that without knowing a little more about your situation. Bill Kiss, why don't you answer my question? Okay, I will. See if I can find it here. I hear it. What does it mean if a consular ticks no waiver available for misrepresentation of documents? It doesn't mean much, because I find that a lot of times what is indicated on those consular worksheets is not accurate. So I don't think that's the... I have often disagreed with when they say no waiver available. I don't think it's often that accurate. So keep that in mind, okay? Mr. Corona said, what if you have DACA and a permanent bar? So if you have the permanent bar, I think you're eligible for parole in place. You're not eligible for the green card. All right, I'm back. Something glitch. So let's talk for a minute about politics. Let's talk about politics. This action by Biden puts into stark relief the contrast between the Democrats and the Republicans. The Republicans are motivated by their racial hatred of immigrants. And here, Biden has put into place a program that helps those with DACA and that helps those who've been in the U.S. waiting for a way to get a green card, and they have no other way to do it than to go through a complicated waiver program. If Trump is elected, he will deport all these people. And if Biden wins re-election, they'll get green cards. That's it. We have a choice. Get out and vote. Right? Do you really think, who do you think is going to win the election? Do you think Biden will win or Trump? Put it in the comments below. I'd love to see. I mean, I think Biden will win, not because I want him to win, but I don't think Trump is old, unpopular, has a felony conviction, and has really done nothing to reach out to expand his base of voters. I don't think he'll win. The Republicans lost in 2018, 2020, 2022. So if they lost all those elections, has anything changed that would make them win this election? I don't think so. But I could be wrong. I don't know much about politics. I know a lot about certain immigration issues. Bessie says Trump is so going to win. Abdurrahman Khalif, Trump. Trump, another voter thinks Trump. Biden will win. I don't know. I don't know who will win. Trump's going to win, says Mashal. Bessie says Trump's felony is fake. If you think Trump is old, what do you think of Biden? I think they're both old. The question is who's going to win. I don't know who's going to win. I don't know. I think Biden will win, but my opinion is not one that should be given much weight. I support Biden. I have devoted my entire career to helping immigrants. And I suppose blacks and Hispanics are going to vote for Trump, says Bessie. It's possible. It's possible. I don't know. Trump all the way, says Ebron. Well, I think that this act by Biden was politically courageous. It was bold, and it also creates a stark contrast between the two parties and between the two candidates. The American people have a choice. Do you want to deport immigrants, or do you want to take people who've been in the U.S. living and working here with no criminal cases, doing everything the correct way, and do you want to help them get green cards in an easier way? They can already get green cards, but do you want to make things easier for them? Do you want to take people who have advanced degrees and the ability to help the American economy, or do you want to deport them because they weren't born in the U.S.? There are people who hate immigrants, and they take a polar opposite view than I do. Eponymous Bosch. I like that name. That's clever. Could a marriage visa application be helped by having my name on a joint apartment lease with my wife in her country? So what's the purpose of putting your name on her lease? I don't think it really shows that the two of you live together. To me, it sounds like some paperwork that you created simply for the immigration process. Instead of doing that, if you're trying to prove that your marriage relationship is genuine, what I would recommend that you do is that you go and spend time together and take pictures and travel and meet and get to know each other's family and friends. That's what I would do. Choco La Mila, we are already helping the economy more than the American people would know. That's right. Immigrants get the job done. I love that. That's amazing. Sunia Samya, hello, sir. Welcome. Welcome, people. Welcome, friends on TikTok. We are live on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, a Facebook group on visa delays. We are live on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and X with Twitter. We're not live in Snap. We're not live in Snap. We have a Snap account. We post in there, but we're not live there. We also have an account in Telegram that's focused on the Persian community, but that's not somewhere we're live right now. Ken, 7 days, yes, says, can I ask you a question? You just did. You just did ask me a question. Go for it. Dystopian Justice. Ooh, that's a rough name. Says, I've been married to an American for 22 years. He is an expat. Asylum case delayed 5 years. USCIS is censoring my declaration statement, arrest record, construction fraud. Blah, blah, blah. Not sure what your question is. I'm not sure what your question is. Answer. Bakir says, answer my question. Okay. My wife is a U.S. citizen. I-130 is pending. What other type of visa can I apply for? Maybe you could apply for a K3 visa, which would make the I-130 go faster. You could leave the country you're in and change the consulate and go to a different consulate. What else could you do? You could apply for the DV lottery, maybe. You could apply for a visitor visa. These are just some ideas. Hamid Khan, my I-730 follow to join interview date is November 23rd. Still refused 7 months from Islamabad. Hamid, please, 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 for the love of God, book a consultation with our team. We would love to help you. Shouldn't have to wait that long. Ebron, my husband is in administrative processing, is in Liberia. He was given a form to fill out. Can you talk about it a little? Yeah. The form is called DS 5535. And this is something that Trump gave us. It's extreme vetting. It asks for all sorts of information about your work and travel and your family and your social media handles. And after you do that, you apply for it and you have to wait a bit. And if your case is stuck, Ibram, we can help your husband through a Mandamus lawsuit. This is something that our firm is famous for. All right. What other questions do you have? These are great questions. What about people in AP? So if you're in administrative processing, that means that you applied for a visa and your visa is stuck. There are two options. One is you can keep waiting. The problem is it doesn't work. At some point, you get sick of waiting. So the second thing you could do is you can file a mandamus lawsuit. You can actually go to court and sue, and it's super effective. And this is what we do to help people. Siraj says, I can't tell who's going to win. I don't like either, but I'm voting for Biden because the Republicans have an overt racial hatred. Overt racial hatred, I think, is a very succinct description of what they have. Racial resentment is, I mean, the Republican Party is basically Trump. It's the Trump cult. There is no more Republican Party anymore. It's been replaced by Trump. Cynthia said, already sued, but I got hit with a motion to dismiss. Cynthia, if you're a client of our firm, we are going to fight back. We're not taking this. We go to bat and we sue and we win when a motion to dismiss is filed. So we got you. We got you. Don't worry. I do not handle humanitarian parole in place visa applications. So if you have a question about humanitarian parole in place, I would not be the best person to answer those questions. Is 3 months good enough to file a mandamus lawsuit? No. I would say 4, 5, 6 months would be the beginning of where I'd want to be. Typically. Chester is here. Welcome. What other questions do you have? These are good ones. I like it. These are great questions. Do I know why the SEAC website is not working? It can be glitchy, but I don't know of any widespread outage at this point. Here's someone who says, wife is out of status. I have a green card. What can I apply for? I think you have to wait till you have a green card and then you can do it. These are great questions all around. How long do judges take to make a decision on a motion to dismiss? I don't think you really, I mean, the primary focus of your lawsuit is to get your visa approved, right? So I wouldn't worry about when the judge is going to make a decision. I would be more focused on when you can get your visa issued. In other words, most cases the judges are considering a decision and the visa is then issued, right? What other questions? These are great questions, by the way. Yama shared this with 5 of her friends. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Let me know what other questions you have. Madusha, client of our firm, want to say hi. Mohammed from Spain, welcome, welcome. How can I file a mandamus lawsuit? Reach out to us. Can I apply for a K1 visa for the second time? Why would you do that? Why would you reapply for a K1 visa? Get married. Do it. Get married in person. Erica, I need help for my boyfriend. Don't know where to start. 8 years together, 3 kids. Erica, we got you. Reach out to us. We got you. We'll do our best to help you out. 8 years together, 3 kids, and 8 years together. Wow, that's amazing. K1 visa right now, K1 just a couple of months. No. Where can you reach out to me? You can reach out using the link in our bio. Well, Erica, she cried when the parole in place. Erica, where do you live? Just curious. Where do you and your husband live? We can help you out. Not to worry. We'd love to help you. If you've Samira Osman, if you file a lawsuit, your spouse will be here quicker. Yes, that is a true statement. We have procrastinated on getting married, and I feel like being punished. I'm in Missouri. Well, we can help you out, Erica. Reach out to us. We have free case evaluations. If you're not married, you're thinking about getting married, even you're not eligible for this program because you're not married, but that's okay. There are other programs that we can help you. We can help you with, Erica. We're based in California. We have plenty of clients in Missouri and all over the U.S. And if you have 3 kids together, then you already have my sympathy, because I have 2 kids and I'm overwhelmed, but 3 means you and your husband are outnumbered. I hope you, I'm sure you know what I mean. Zana says, my case received an administrative closure from an immigration judge. I hope that's a good thing. Carrie wants to get his or her wife from Cameroon, so we can help you with that. We'd love to. Any DACA update? Oh, there's huge news on DACA. There's a whole new employment-based immigration world that's opened up to dreamers, which I'm excited about. And there's a way to help people in all sorts of ways. Zana says, does President Biden's new executive order affect asylum cases pending in court? Not directly, probably not indirectly, but each case is different and we need to look at it carefully to see. All right.